when my body forced me to listen. Doctors told me my heart was fine, but my body kept saying something was wrong. What I discovered changed my health and my life. For years, I lived with something that quietly changed my life: an irregular heartbeat. I had always been an athlete. I was active, strong, and healthy by every outward measure. I never imagined that heart issues would ever be part of my story. So when it happened, it came as a complete shock to me. I first learned something was wrong when I collapsed at work and was rushed to the hospital. I was under a tremendous amount of stress at the time, but I didn't think of myself as unhealthy. Yet there I was, admitted and stuck in atrial fibrillation, or A-Fib, for about 4 days straight. The doctors ran test after test, but they couldn't give me a clear answer about what was happening to my body. Structurally, my heart looked fine. I was young, active, and otherwise healthy, or at least that's what I believed. Eventually, the decision was made to perform electrical cardioversion, essentially shocking my heart in hopes of restoring a normal sinus rhythm. As you may expect, I was terrified. I was lying there waiting for the procedure, and I got into some prayer. I asked God for peace, for resolve, and for healing. And just before they administered the shock, my heart rhythm returned to normal on its own. I was discharged with no real answers. I left the hospital with aspirin and a beta blocker and told to manage the symptoms if they came back. But internally, something had shifted. I no longer trusted my body. I felt fragile, vulnerable. Over time, everyday activities became intimidating. Exercising, playing with my kids, even bending over. I could feel my heart rate change suddenly. And when it did, the poor circulation left me weak, dizzy, and exhausted. When an episode hit, all I could do was lie down and wait for my heart to settle back into rhythm. I couldn't imagine living the rest of my life like that. As time went on, I started noticing a pattern. Certain foods and drinks seemed to trigger my A-Fib episodes. Around the same time, I was also dealing with severe heartburn and acid reflux. So I began to see a gastroenterologist and was prescribed medication for it. For years, that became my normal, managing reflux with medication and living with reoccurring A-Fib episodes. Then one day, while trying to play with my kids, another episode hit hard. I ended up in bed for days, waiting for my heart to stabilize. That moment changed everything. I realized I couldn't keep living reactively. I couldn't keep treating symptoms without understanding the cause. So I started researching deeply. At that time, I wasn't living the healthiest lifestyle, but I wanted answers. One theory kept resurfacing in my mind. What if acid reflux and atrial fibrillation were connected? I dug into medical literature and found research that suggests a possible association, though it wasn't widely discussed or fully conclusive. When I brought this up to my primary care doctor, he was very skeptical. He felt the connection was unlikely, but still I persisted. He said he'd review it and follow up. That conversation never happened. Years later, after continuing my own research, I finally found a report that mirrored my exact experience. It confirmed that there is evidence suggesting acid reflux can contribute to the onset of atrial fibrillation. And at the center of the connection was something I'd never fully understood before: the vagus nerve. Learning about the vagus nerve changed everything. I discovered that this nerve plays a critical role in regulating heart rhythm, digestion, inflammation, stress response, and overall autonomic nervous system balance. It connects the brain to the gut, the heart, and many major organs. Suddenly, all the pieces begin to fit. But for the first time, I stopped seeing my body as a collection of isolated parts and started seeing it as a highly sophisticated, interconnected system. At that point, I had to be honest with myself. I had been putting low-grade fuel into a state-of-the-art body and expecting it to function at a high level. So I changed. I began eating differently, not chasing trends, but supporting my nervous system and digestion. I reduced sugar. I moved away from processed foods. I focused on whole foods, proper hydration, and essential vitamins and minerals. Not as quick fixes, but as foundational support. Over time, my body responded. My symptoms decreased. My energy improved. My confidence returned. Most importantly, I learned how to listen to my body instead of ignoring it or outsourcing responsibility for it. And that was the biggest lesson of all. Medical professionals play an important role, but my health is my responsibility. That realization gave me my life back. And that's why I created Vitality HubSpot. Not because I have all the answers, but because I know what it's like to feel unheard, confused, and trapped in symptom management. I built this to show others that it is possible to take back control, understand your body, and support it in a way that promotes long-term vitality instead of constant fear. If you're listening to your body right now and something feels off, this is your sign to pay attention. You're not broken. You're being invited to understand yourself more deeply.